Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crafting in the Hollow. We're going to try this again. Oh my gosh, my phone doesn't want to record for some reason. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and try to get this done, okay? All right, so we are going to be making these adorable snowmen. That's what I'm going to be doing next, guys. We're going to be trying to make these into little snowmen. But these are our little Santas. They are a primitive country kind of look, and they are done by doing Mosh Podge. Not Maj Podge, paper mache. My goodness, guys. Okay, I just need to chill out. I've been trying to do this video for 2 days, guys. My phone keeps telling me I can't record. I'm recording, it's almost all the way to the end and it cuts out, and then I try to record, it won't record. So I am so frazzled. But anyways, okay, so we're gonna be trying to focus on these cute little guys. They are paper mache and they are nice and hard. You can hear that they are nice and hard. They're not too heavy of a weight, so that's nice because when they hang on your tree, they will not be pulling your tree branches down. But these will look so cute, or even if you're like wrapping and you're one of those people that really like this, take a lot of time and wrap your presents and you do all the cutesy stuff, these would be really cute hanging on the top of packages. So let's go ahead and jump into telling you guys how you can make your own. Okay. All right. And as you could see on these, by the way, you could see that I was doing different underwashes. Like this one was black. This one had multicolors, orange, blues, greens. And you can see those colors come through as you're doing your painting. So it's just like our skin, some people have blue undertones, some people have yellow undertones, some have olive green undertones, and those do come through on our skin, because somebody could have the same skin color as me, like exactly, but they could have an undertone that is different than mine, which will make them look different. Like their shade of their skin will look totally different because of that undertone that they have in their skin. Okay, so that's a beautiful thing about undertones and highlights and lowlights and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and let's get making these, okay? All right, so the first thing I did is I got myself a little piece of cardboard, a template. I got this cardboard from the haul that I showed you guys from the Dollar Tree. I just used that. Instead of throwing that away, I can use that and make a beautiful craft out of it, okay? Now, you can do however you want size. You can pick whatever sizes you want. These are just some lids that I have, and you can pick what you want. I ended up doing the spaghetti jar one. This one here is a little bit bigger. That's the pickle, and then this was just from a fancier jar I have. I am going to be doing some bigger ones very soon, but I'm going to focus on another one this size. Let me check my camera. Okay, yep, we're still recording. Yay, okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our items that we are going to be decoupaging, not decoupaging, paper macheing with. Okay, so you're going to need to have some paper mache. I'm moving it around so you guys can see the consistency. Like when it goes up on the wall, see how it leaves the paste up on the walls? That's what you want. This is going to be a mixture of water and flour. You're going to start with equal parts water and flour. You're going to add water as needed as you're going to make it to where it's like a waffle batter, okay? Then what I do, for every cup of water I add, I use 1/4 cup of glue. Now, you can use whatever kind of glue you want. You can use white glue. It doesn't have to be Elmer's. I wanted to show you guys it can be the cheaper stuff from the Dollar Tree. This works just as good as Elmer's glue. Then I have Elmer's Glue All. That one works really good. And it makes the pieces even harder, and so doesn't wood glue. Wood glue makes your pieces very, very hard too, okay? So get your stuff mixed up to where it's like the batter of a waffle mix. Add your 1/4 a cup for every cup of water that you're using. You're going to end up with a nice solid piece. Like this is a very solid piece, okay? And this isn't even all the way done curing yet. So you want something that's going to last you for years to come. Now, I've been doing the paper mache for a long time. And when I say that this is one of my items that I've made in the past, this was from like 8 years ago. This is actually made out of bed sheets, okay? And he's got the nicest feeling, like his texture is really cool. I made him out of some homemade clay that I made, and then I used the bed sheets, and then underneath the bed sheets I made a big huge ball made out of newspaper, and then I made newspaper tubes that I made for the lining and stuff. So super fun. There's a lot that you can do with paper mache. But what I'm using is paper towels for this one. Now these are the Veet paper towels. You don't have to use Veet paper towels. You can use any kind of paper towels. I'm a little bit of a paper towel snob, number one. Number two, usually for crafting, if it was just for myself, I would probably use a little bit cheaper, but I love the texture that this makes, and these are being made to sell in my shop and also in our little Enchanted Hollow honesty stand that we have. So I want them to be made with really good materials, and I love this material for them because it's very durable, strong, and it really soaks up that glue, okay? But you can also use toilet paper like this, but I'm not a big toilet paper user for this kind of thing. There's other things I do make toilet paper, paper mache, and I am going to be doing those here for you guys. But for this one, I would kind of stay away from that because it falls apart and you got to twist these pieces. And as you're twisting it, the toilet paper breaks. So save yourself the hassle and use paper towel or use some trash mail. This is all stuff that comes in the trash, and you can use this in your paper mache easily. They send so much stuff through the mail that is going in the landfill that we could reuse. So go ahead and get some of that if you want to. All right. So now that you got the basics, let's go ahead and jump into this so I can make sure that my camera is staying on. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. So the first thing we got to do is we got to cover this up, okay? So I'm going to take a piece of this, and it doesn't have to be perfectly covered, guys. You just want any kind of textures that you get. Like, see how when I folded that, I left all the wrinkles, and you get from the twist and stuff. You want that. You want that really cool textures in your piece, okay? So you're just going to want this enough so you can cover it. So I'm just going to go ahead and rip it right here. Just like that. All right, and this is where we start getting that glue, which I'm going to move right over here now. All right, so I'm getting some glue and I'm putting it on. This is super easy. There will be times that I get quiet and not talk, and that's probably going to be the portion where we speed it up and you can just watch what I'm doing, because some of it's pretty well self-explanatory. So once I'm showing you, you'll see what you're doing. All right, so now you're just going to get this all paste on here. And you don't have to have glue. You don't have to have gloves when you're doing this. I just don't like the way it feels when the stuff gets on my hands and my hands start getting like that dry feeling from the glue. I hate that feeling, so I just wear gloves because it makes it so much easier. All right, so to keep your back from getting too thick, I like to rip off some of the bulk. So like right here, I'm gonna rip some of that bulk off, just like that. Go ahead and take that and put that over there. Okay. And then you just go ahead and flip that. All right, so here we go. We have that done. Now what I like to do is, this is okay if it's like that. I do try to round this part out, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're gonna do this hat piece. Okay, you can see I did two different hats here. This one, I didn't add any extra material at the very top like I did this one. This one I added material and then I rolled it, and then I added another piece of material here for the brim. This one I didn't add any extra, and then I just made the extra material for the brim. So on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and do this style so you can see that style. And then this one, you don't even have to add that. You're just adding the brim, and instead of putting in your little ball on the extra material, you're just gonna put it right on the outside of that brim, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this, move that to the side, and I can rip off stuff as I don't need it. If I need it, I have it. If I don't need it, I can just rip it off and it will be fine, okay? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get this whole piece done up like this. And I'm probably gonna go ahead and rip a piece right off of it for the brim. Okay. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just going in and getting this to where I want it. I got to get the hat to where I want it before I can add the brim. Okay, so I'm just adding some little ripples and trying to, let me get my, which one is it? I'll use this one. I'm going to go up underneath here. I'm going to push that up. Because I want this to kind of like lay different this time. And I want the hat to have those little wrinkles in there. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to dunk it right into the glue, just like that. I don't know if you guys can see what I did. Since I'm using this kind, you can do it with the paper too. You can dunk it in and then use your fingers like that to get the excess off. And then I'm just going to lay it down. And I already know I'm not going to need all this tube, but that's okay. And then you're just going to roll it up like that. Okay? Roll it up. And I'm going to want this brim a little thicker, so I'm going to put it together and I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to twirl it so it gets that texture. I'm going to squeeze out any extra. Like I said, this stuff will pick up. All right, so here's the brim. Like I said, I wanted a nice fluffy brim. And then I'm going to take this little thing and set it right off like that. because I want it to hang down some. Okay, so there's that. And I'm going to push this down in like this. Now I got this extra here, so that's where you can get your scissors. Can cut that off. Just like so. Your scissors will wash if they get some stuff on them. It will be okay. And then I'm just going to lay that down like that. I'm going to lay this down like that. Make sure that that hat is all touching. And then I'm going to have this one hanging down like that. Now when I have to microwave this, because we're going to microwave this in a little bit to get it to dry, it's going to puff this little hat section up. Okay, so it's going to take on its own little shape, which I love. It's one thing I do love about crafting and stuff is how things just take on their own and you bring them to life, and I love that. Okay, so that's how we're going to do that. Now we're going to start with making the nose. Okay, that's very easy to do. I have this piece here, so what you're going to do is you're just going to rip yourself off a strip of your material, whatever you're using. Okay. Let me get this to kind of even out there. There we go. All right. So you're going to put some of this on. This is a very sticky job, guys. So just remember that it's okay. Take your time. Things get a little sticky. You could always wipe your space up and, you know, clean it up and then, you know, start fresh. You don't have to. All right, so now that I got it wrapped up, now this guy, I want him to have a little bit of a smaller nose than my other one. So that's why I'm trying to do a little smaller strip. So you're gonna make a tube. You're not gonna twist it though, okay? On this tube, I'm gonna lay it down like that. And then you're gonna roll where the seam is at, you're gonna roll it inwards, okay? So if you can see what I'm doing, I hope you can see. I'm just rolling it like this. Okay, now you're going to roll this as much as you want his nose to be. How big do you want his nose to be? The width of it will let you know how big his nose is going to be. I'm going to go like right there. So I'm going to rip this off right about here. So you're going to take that roll, you're going to have it like this. So it's like a little roll of toilet paper, okay? You're going to have it like that. This piece you're going to put right up underneath his brim of his hat, okay? So I'm going to tuck that right up under there. And I want him to have this kind of nose, where it's a little flatter down there and it's like a little bit more pointier up here. And then I'm going to squeeze that in, and you just make his nose shape whatever you want it to be. This Santa Claus is going to have that kind of nose. So you can do every one different and give them all their own little personality, which is really fun to do. Now we're going to make cheeks. So for cheeks, we're just going to do some balls of, you're just going to ball up some. I hope I'm in the frame here. Let me make sure I move this up. I might put him on my silicone mat. Okay, so I have one ball here, and I'm going to put that down for his one cheek right there. I'm going to go ahead and just put a dab of paste on each side of his face here. Okay. Put his little cheek down. Okay. And I got these little scrap pieces over here, and that's what I'm using. I'm just using up stuff, and I'm going to dip my fingers. I'm going to get the ball wet, and that's what I say. This is what I told you I like about this material for the V, because you can open it and it's not breaking. And I've used a lot of other paper towels, and trust me, they do not hold up like this brand. And I'm not a snob on very many things, like when it comes like food and, you know, the cheaper brand and stuff. But boy, I am about my paper towels. I can tell you that. I got to break some of this off so I can open that back up a little bit. I'm going to take some of that off because it's a little bit too big. I want to try to match the other side. They don't have to be perfect, but I do try to match them. So what I do is I just keep tucking and like moving it all under and trying to make the cheek a little, like at least rounder style cheek. There we go. Okay. Still a little bit bigger than that one. So let me see if I can tuck that. All right, I'm not liking that, so yes, we're still recording, I think. Let me see. Yep. Okay, good. Telling you guys, I've had a problem trying to get this recorded. Holy smolies. All right, I ripped off a little bit more. Okay. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this up into probably 2 videos. Now this one is, I'm not happy with these little cheekies today. I'm probably going to break this up into 2 videos. We're going to make it like we're going to do this here. And then I'm probably going to do the painting and that in another video. That way there's 2 different videos for it. And because I like to spend time with you guys and I like to talk to you guys and stuff. I know there's people that do such great videos and they can do their stuff like so quick, but I'm not that good yet. So, and they're just like, okay, this is what you do, and that's that. And I kind of show you guys what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And I don't do any really editing. My son does take my videos for me and he adds my little things in there and stuff. But I don't really edit out any of the, like the font, like having to fumble around and having to do. I like to leave that in there just so you guys can see that it is normal. Like that is a normal thing for us to, when we're crafting, to, you know, have to kind of take things off and redo them. All right, this isn't cutting the way I want it to cut, so, or rip, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut some strips. I usually don't like to cut them too much because I like the rustic look of the tear, but it's not wanting to tear right now, so I'm just going to cut some strips, different size widths across. These are going to be for the beard, because that's what we're going to start working on now, is the beard part. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to post this on probably Thursday or Friday, this video here. And then I think what I'm going to do with you guys is on Monday, I'll come back and I will do the painting of it, and then we'll seal one and do all that kind of stuff. I think that's the way I'm going to do it. And then that way, if you guys are making yours, you can make yours, and then you can maybe come back while you're watching the video as I'm painting mine. You can paint yours with me. So that would be fun. All right, so okay. So now we have all these strips that we're going to work with. All right, so we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to dip it in to my glue like I did on that other piece I showed you guys. Get it glued out like that. Okay. And then you're just going to kind of roll it. It's the only thing, working with gloves is not the easiest, but boy, it feels good not to have that glue stuck to my fingers. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start twisting these up. Just like this. Twist them. Now this is going to be too long, unless you want a really long beard. I mean, you can give yours whatever size beard you want. It's your piece. So I'm just going to rip probably about 3 out of this one. Got a couple shorter ones and a couple of longer ones. So these pieces will be perfect for up on the top. And then you just twist it like that. Okay. And then we're going to put it down. And now we're going to start building the beard. Like this piece here. I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to stick it right down like that. Stick it right up underneath the nose. Okay. And then I'm going to kind of like do that. So he's got like a little bit of, what do you call it? Like a lift right there in that hair right there. Okay. Start your next piece. Oh, I forgot about this little guy here. I like to fan the top piece out a little bit so it's a little flatter, and then that way I can build up around his face like that. Okay. And then as you microwave this, after you go to microwave this, and it's still like you just microwave it 20 seconds, and then it will start blowing up a little bit, but it's still going to be, and you're going to be able to twist these a little bit more, and then you'll microwave it a little bit more, and you'll keep doing that just a couple of times. And then what I like to do is put mine in an oven at 200 degrees or in your air fryer at 200 degrees. And then I like to try to put it in there and then let it go for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. And I think what's cool too is each one of these are so unique to itself. I love that. I like that they're not so like everything is the same. I like that they're, you know, when you make them, it's like you're giving it its own little character. You're bringing it to life. I love that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish putting my pieces on up and around here. I'm going to go and just leave this area in here. See how I have this area is nothing? We want to leave it like that because that's where our eyes are going to go and our eyebrows and all that, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing this and then I will be back. Okay, guys, so I am back. I had already, okay, I got him already dried out. Well, he's not all the way dried out. He's starting to dry out. So I forgot though to add his little ball to his hat. Like that's one of the biggest things. So I'm going to be adding that. But what you're going to do is you can see I finished all his little hairs. Okay, I have them on there. And then I put him in for 20 seconds in the microwave. Now, you put him in and then you push everything down. If he starts to like swell up and blow up a little bit, you push everything that you want to down and leave the stuff that you want blown up. Like you can see this little guy's face, it was a little bit more lifted up because I left it. And this little guy's face, it's pushed down in there because I pushed it down. I didn't leave it lifted up. So you're going to do that. And then after you do that, you're going to either let it dry completely by itself, or you're going to put it in the oven or in your air fryer or toaster oven or whatever, 200 for about 30 to 45 minutes. It might take a little longer. It just depends. And then I am going to do a part 2. I'm going to come back in a different video, and then we're going to start painting him when we do part 2. I'm going to let mine dry. I'm going to add the ball. That's the only thing that I'm going to do that you guys aren't going to see done. But I'm going to add the ball, and then I'm going to let my little guy sit and dry for a couple of days, and then I will do the video showing you guys how to paint them and ideas. You can paint them however you like because it's your creation, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to paint mine and give you different ideas, just like I told you guys on this one. I just went around putting some blues, and then I put some oranges, and I put some yellows all over, and then all I made sure I did was use a blow dryer to dry the colors so you don't blend the colors, and you can see the little colors. So it's kind of like a little retro. It's kind of got that there's like a, back in the day they had, it was like a color that they used, and it always had those undertones of the multicolors. That's what this one reminds me of. And then this little guy, gave him eyebrows up there. This little guy, I had it made so it looks like his eyebrows are covered, and I gave him all black undertones. Now I do see here, as he's drying, he moved, his little things came open a little bit, which is cool. Not gonna hurt nothing. I'm just gonna put some more paint on him before we seal him up. And then what I'm going to do is show you guys how and what I do to seal these up a little bit. And I'm going to show you putting some felt on the back to make them nice for when I put them on my shop. So if you want to do it that way, you can. So if you want to sell yours, or if you want to make them, but you want to make them even more special by giving them a little bit more finished details, then I will be doing that in part 2. Okay, so go ahead and work on making your Santa. And don't worry if you start seeing, like, see how his little nose is separating from his cheek right there? Don't worry about that. That's okay. That's what's really cool about these, is they kind of take on their own look. Like right here, see where his nose and cheek were connected, but it came apart, and I think he's really, really cute. And this one here, If you look up here, like back in his nose area here, you can see that, I had to keep pushing it over. So it made it look different than what it did look. But then their noses are super cute because they're all different. And this little guy's nose is going to be a small, littler nose. So they're super fun to do. I love that they take on their own little special look. So I hope you guys have fun doing this. I will see you guys in the next video. The next video, we are going to be painting our little Santa Clauses, and then I'm going to show you guys how to seal them up and finish them all the way. All right, guys, I will talk to you in the next video. Please like and subscribe, and if you like this kind of stuff, share it out with somebody else that likes it too. All right, thank you.